From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the Kern County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxtun Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy, and our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
We're ready to go. We're ready.
Okay, PM session of the October 7, 2025 Kern County Board of Supervisors. Meeting is back in session, so welcome back. We were together this morning. We did convene for our closed session, and you'll be hearing on a report on that momentarily. But welcome back. We'll begin with a roll call, please.
Supervisor Peters?
Here.
Supervisor Parlier?
Here.
Supervisor Flores?
Here.
Supervisor Couch?
Here.
Supervisor Perez?
Here. Thank you. As to reports, a report on actions taken in closed session, Ms. Graham, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. This morning, following the AM agenda, your board met in closed session on items 43 through 45. There were no reportable actions taken.
Okay, thank you so very much for that. We're going to move to the consent agenda. Consent matters are listed with a capital C, capital A, and they reflect matters that the county family believe are routine and non-controversial. But you may have a different opinion about that, and you may want an item pulled. It'd be up to a supervisor to pull that matter if that is your request. You may also offer some insight or remarks on consent matters, and we do not pull the matter, but you want your thoughts and ideas reflected in the official record. You may do so as well at the conclusion of my reading the consent agenda. Consent matters begin on page 2, and they include items 4 through 6. On page 3, all items listed 7 through 9. On page 4, all items listed 10 through 13. On page 5, all items listed 14 through 18. On page 6, items 19 and 21 through 28. On page 7,
21 through 25.
21 through 25, forgive me. Thank you, Madam Clerk. On page 7, item number 28 was being pulled from consent and will be heard in its regular order. So on 27, items 26, 27, 29 through 31 will remain on consent unless otherwise indicated. And page 8, all items listed 32 through 37. Finally, on page 9, all items listed 38 through 43. Again, item 28 has been pulled and will be heard in its regular order. Are there any members of the public that would like to comment on a consent matter? Now would be the time to do so. And also, if you would like a matter pulled or given separate consideration, also this would be the time to indicate. Good afternoon, sir. If you could please state and spell your name for the record. Welcome.
Welcome. Good afternoon. My name is Rick Judge. Last name is J-H-A-J. I'm here with Countryside, and I'm here to speak on behalf of consent item number 33. I am not requesting the item to be pulled. Just wanted to make some public comment to put into the public record. So first and foremost, Chairman Perez and fellow supervisors, thank you for allowing me the time to speak here today. And the reason we are here is this item is regarding a roundabout that is coming on the intersection of 7th Standard and Highway 43. We are Countryside Market and Restaurants. This roundabout is coming in front of our site right now, and we just wanted the board to be aware of what we've been processing the last few weeks and what we're dealing with today. Our family's been doing business here in Kern County for 30 plus years, and our father has specialized in gas stations and other businesses, and we've been blessed to work alongside him. And when it comes to roundabouts, we laugh and joke. We say we're the experts because out of 3 roundabouts in Kern County, they're all in front of our gas stations. So either we're really good at picking corners or Caltrans really likes us, one or the other. But either way, we wanted to make a comment because roundabouts, as I know, they're very important to safety, and I know Caltrans is making a big push for them to be in our community. One thing that sometimes gets overlooked is the fellow business stats being impacted by these roundabouts and how businesses function on site. And so with us, when this roundabout came around, we wanted to make sure we were involved in the communication. As we mentioned, we've had 2 previous locations that had roundabouts in front of them. One turned out very successfully because we were blessed to be able to speak with Caltrans very early on. We worked on the design. We were able to make sure our access points were not impeded or impacted, and we made sure on-site circulation worked well. We had another roundabout come in Wheeler Ridge and Bear Mountain, close to Arvin. Unfortunately, we were on that location, did not have the same great success. Ended up being pretty detrimental to our business, and the roundabout caused that business not to be able to succeed the way it has in the past. And so, as you can imagine, when it comes to this new location, we are very sensitive and we're very concerned because even though Caltrans lays out this design, they did not really take into consideration on-site circulation. And so with that, I want to bring to the board's attention, we brought this matter to Public Works Director Joshua Champlin. And what I will say is when this matter was brought to Joshua Champlin, he let us know that there would be no way that he would allow a local business to be impacted. He made it very clear that he will support local business. Excellent. He will do whatever he can to make sure that Caltrans and this design works so that we can still function, still be whole. And for that to come from someone in a government position to say, hey, look, I will make modifications even though this makes my job harder and difficult, we took a lot of respect and a lot of pride for him doing that, and I just really want to commend Josh. He is sitting in this audience as well, and without him, we would be against this project. But because of the efforts he's made and the impact he's put into this project, the time he's put into this project, and the modifications, we are here to say we will support this. I think Josh also has a design that we have communicated about, and I don't know if it's possible that could be shared with the board. I don't know if we have a design here. I didn't bring one with me. I don't know if they do have that, so I don't know if that could be put up. Or Madam Clerk to put that up for us.
Is that possible during consent comments, Ms. Graham?
Yes, you can't take action on the item, but he can show something on consent.
Excellent, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And what we worked upon is this design you see here. That's our corner gas station on the corner. And as you can see, there's 2 large medians being designed by the roundabout. Both those medians were blocking and impeding our currently existing 2 access points, basically cutting off customers being able to come in and out of those access points having full range of motion. And one thing that you guys will understand is people's behaviors and their capabilities of being able to maneuver is important. And when something becomes cumbersome or difficult to maneuver through, people go somewhere else. We're a convenience source for a reason. We are called convenience. So when we brought the attention to Josh, he was able to make a modification, work with the Caltrans, and this new design gives us a full access off the 7 standard with a left-hand turn pocket into our site, and also gives us a full access at the end of Highway 43. This was the best solution we were able to come together with, but the county and Josh has agreed to make sure these drive approaches come in and to help make all the improvements on site to make sure this functions well for us. So we are amenable to this design, and we want to say thank you to Josh and his efforts and the staff's effort, and also all the supervisors. We also had a local senator involved giving their opinion. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. And this is a great example of when government cares and they look out for local businesses, we could find results. So I want to say thank you to everybody on that point. And then moving forward, I would just recommend to this board, from our personal opinion as business owners, when these type of projects come up, always keep in mind how it impacts local business. How can local business keep surviving? Because especially in today's times, we thrive and survive with our local community. And you guys have all been champions of our community, and so I want to say thank you to all of you as well. And that will conclude my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Judge. They will go into the record. Thank you, Josh. It's always nice to hear that efforts have been made to accommodate and consider the interests of a longstanding business community. These roundabouts are most definitely a mixed bag, but it sounds like you have some middle ground that you have found. Really appreciate your hard work in getting to this place, so thank you very much. Any other consent comments at this time? Okay, colleagues, I'll entertain a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved, all ayes.
Thank you. We're going to move on to public presentations. This portion of the hearing is reserved for members of the public who would like to comment on matters that are within the jurisdiction of the Kern County Board of Supervisors, but are not on today's specific agenda. Today would be, and right now would be the time. We do ask that you please consider the 2-minute extension of time that is traditionally given during public comments, and we will have a timer to indicate the 2 minutes, frankly. If you could come down and state your name for the record and spell it, we would so greatly appreciate it. We welcome you this afternoon. Thank you, and it's good to see you again, sir.
Okay. My name is Bob Coons. I have visited detainees at Mesa Verde Detention Center for the past 8 years. All those I have visited recently were transferred to the new Cal City facility. After numerous frustrating days trying to arrange a visit on September 28th, we were able to achieve that. After 3 hours of waiting, myself and 3 other volunteers were able to communicate with detainees. I'd like to share their trauma in their own words. Quote, "We were transferred from Mesa Verde on an unexpected, unprecedented move without warning. The process was so overwhelming that many of us are traumatized from the experience. We want to express how stressful and how unnecessary the corporal punishment we have endured at this institution since ICE has allowed CoreCivic to operate as a prison. There are people whose medication have not been provided and has been thrown away by the warden's orders. It is hard to describe the detainees' pain who have been yelled at and punished for trying to get their property and legal documents. People have gotten their commissary items from which they purchased at Mesa Verde thrown away. We have had little time out of our cells due to excessive lockdowns and counts, confining us up to 17+ hours daily in our cells. The drinking water is straight from the sink. We don't know where it's coming from. It is not filtered, and when turned on, white chemicals come out of the faucet. The recreation yard is all rubble and rocks. It has no water and no restroom access." Unquote. CoreCivic's Cal City facility is essentially functioning as a level 3 or 4 prison. Previously, it was shut down by a lawsuit over inhumane conditions and chemicals causing defects and cancer to inmates. CoreCivic is a for-profit private prison administrator, which is charging the United States government approximately $350 a day per detainee. We as taxpayers are footing this bill and contributing to its COO's salary over $7.4 million last year. We are asking the Board of Supervisors to direct the Kern County Health Department to inspect, intercede, and hopefully bring about changes to ensure the health, safety, and well-being of these suffering men and women.
Thank you, Mr. Coons. Are there any other members of the public that wish to make public comment at this time? Please do so now. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Alejandra Perez, and I'm a volunteer with Quasi. And when I first heard about what Quasi was doing, going to visit places like Mesa Verde or McFarland, I thought, well, I'm not sure whether I really want to do this, until I understood that these people were detained only because of their migratory status, that they were not serving sentences as part of their detention, that they were just waiting for their court cases and their appeals and the paperwork to become legal and to have bonds and be reunited with their families. So I agreed to help Eddie because he doesn't speak Spanish, but I do. And so I could interpret for him, and he could speak to detainees. And in doing so, I was privileged to meet a lot of the people that are there. And one of the people that I would like you to meet is a wife of one of these detainees. She is attending college right now. She's almost done. She's almost done with her AA. And she has 3 kids. And because her husband is detained, she's had to sell all his truck and his business things to make ends meet. You know how you need the 2 salaries, right? So she's a U.S. citizen, and she's doing the best that she can. And it's been really nice meeting her. and I hope you hear her words. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Jasmine. And yeah, I'm one of the wives of a detainee that is in California City. He was previously in McFarland. We at least had the privilege to see him twice a week. I will drive forward, like 30 minutes drive, take my kids, have visual and contact, give him a kiss, a hug, and everything. And unfortunately, ever since he got transferred to California City, I haven't been able to go and see him just because it's in the middle of the desert. It's crazy. I have a newborn. I mean, not a newborn. He's 6 months old. I also have 2 other kids, and it's been really rough. I had a C-section going through myself, and then I don't provide any money right now, so I had to go to the need to ask for call works in the meantime. And I'm in college, like Alejandra mentioned, my 3rd year in college. I have 7 more classes to go, and that's it. And I'm making my best effort. I'm trying to support my husband, giving phone calls. I think it's really insane just to go see him all the way over there, just to see him over a glass and talk to him over a wire phone, which is really kind of like nonsense. I think it's very, very disrespectful. It's kind of sad because my little one, she has ADHD. She's right here with me. She asks for her dad all the time. And I'm still trying for my best. I'm trying to fight for this case, even though that we don't have a lawyer because I can't afford it. I don't have a job. But I've been getting job interviews, and hopefully I get hired soon and try to finish my school and get over with my kids. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Could you state and spell your name, please, for the record?
Yes. Sister Marie Frances Schrepfer. Schrepfer spelled S-C-H-R-O-E, P as in Peter, F as in Frank, E-R. And Francis with an I, F-R-A-N-C-I-S. I am here today as another one painfully concerned about the ruthless care of our brothers and sisters in Kern County ICE facilities. Indeed, in ICE facilities all over the country. You have already read Eddie Lane's letter that he previously sent to you about the unconscionable conduct of facility personnel with respect to timely medical care, unsanitary conditions, and other inhumane treatment of our detained brothers and sisters. For example, the need to drink toilet water in order to slake one's thirst, or withholding medical treatment for 15 days from a detainee with a painful ear infection. The deliberate withholding of timely medical care from the suffering of another is an egregious act against the inherent God-given dignity conferred upon all persons without distinction. No matter who they are, where they are from, how they got here, or even what they have done once here. This inherent dignity can never be erased or taken away, and begs humane treatment, even in confinement. You may feel powerless to do anything about what goes on in those facilities under your purview, but you do have power. Senate Bill 1132 authorizes you to do so. And we are not asking you, we are begging you. Grab hold of that power and direct Kern County Department of Health to investigate in earnest the egregious and inhumane treatment of our suffering brothers and sisters. And so we ask you, in the name of God, in the name of the God of love, justice, and peace, do it. Thank you. And I'd like to offer these comments for the public record.
Thank you. Can you give us the comments, please, to our clerk? Can you grab the comments? That's typically what we do. Hi, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Nancy Bacon. That's Nancy, last name Bacon. I'm also a licensed marriage and family therapist in Kern County. In my work as a pastor, I have visited multiple prisons in the state of California, visiting inmates. One that I have visited the most over 10 years is a felon, and I can tell you that he does not get as many checks or confinement to his cells as the people in Cal City are getting. He's in for life. He deserves his sentence. But the people in Cal City are mostly not there as felons. Many of them are much more like your neighbors who came to your house and overstayed their welcome. They've not committed a felony. This makes a mockery of our rule of law. I just want to say that in my work as a marriage and family therapist, my specialty is in trauma. And it's not just the people that get locked up who are traumatized. For everybody locked up, we have good research that in the community there are numbers of other people also traumatized. And I want you to consider that as well, that just locking people up also affects our community. I humbly ask that you take a look at what is going on there, using your rule of justice, your morals, so that you can make a fair and just decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard Tracy. I live at 10012 Hurlingham Drive, near Callaway and Olive Drive.
Can you spell your last name, sir?
Tracy, T-R-A-C-Y.
Okay, so no E in the last name.
And I appreciate the opportunity to speak with all of you. In April of 1945, the 4th Armored Division of the U.S. Army liberated the first concentration camp in Germany when they went to the town of Ohrdruf to force the German citizens to go and help with the appalling conditions at the concentration camp. The German people begged ignorance of anything that was going on. And I'm here to say to the 5 of you that you're in a very unfortunate position, because history is going to judge the 5 of you on how you respond to the appalling conditions in California City. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tracy.
Hi,
Good afternoon.
my name is Gonzalo Santos, S-A-N-T-O-S. I come here when the issue of immigration pops up and people come from the community. In this case, people from the faith communities, which really moves my heart. I would never miss it. I'm a former professor at Cal State, and I'm here to witness this and encourage you to take a strong stand. I want to make a point here. I come here usually to scold you for your inactivity. I teach history, and I know how people are dragged by events, by historical catastrophes, to have to do things they otherwise didn't want to do. Abolish slavery is one of them. Took centuries. We are in the midst of a great contradiction in North America. It involves all the countries of the region, the Caribbean, Central America, Mexico, Canada, and the US. This contradiction has become a festering open wound in our society. We have a situation where at all levels of government, at all levels, from the municipal all the way to the federal, they are being caught by this contradiction. How do we handle, how do we grapple, how do we deal with human mobility that is not authorized by nation-state laws? This is getting completely out of hand and is beginning to spill over to the rights, to the liberties, to the well-being of American citizens, of Canadian citizens, of Mexican citizens. You have to understand you're being caught by this contradiction, whether you like it or not. And the longer you postpone taking a stand, the worse off we'll all be. And not to mention, as the last speaker mentioned, how are you going to come out looking in the history books? I just want to make the point that at this point you have the power. I was very surprised by the Cal Matters article that was published that actually referred to the passage of the law in California. It's called Senate Bill 1132, authorizing you to mandate inspections in immigration federal detention centers. You've had the power all along, not to mention the moral authority you've had ever since the Obama years when Mesa Verde was established. You could have spoken up. You did not. You have not spoken for something like 10 years. It is time. Events are upon you. You have egregious violations of human rights that you must deal with in your own county. You cannot excuse this any longer. You have to act. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Emma de la Rosa. I am a resident of District 3, Supervisor Flores' district, and I'm here in my own capacity. I am here to ask that, again, to reiterate what everyone is saying, to ask for your support and your actions to enforce the law that, in the authority that you have to send a county health inspector to the California City Core Civic Detention Center. Specifically, so you know, these county health officers can conduct inspections. They can determine how often these inspections have to be. They can expand investigative scope. You have heard from residents, from folks who have gone to these detention centers, who have spoken to residents in those detention centers, who have shared how poorly they are being treated and how poorly the center is being ran. So the county does have the authority to expand that investigative scope and also ensure compliance, right? I want to also say, Supervisor Peters, Supervisor Couch, Supervisor Perez, Supervisor Flores, Supervisor Parlier, you are all here, sitting up here today, because we have a democratic government. We have democracy, right? We are all, everyone in this room is able to elect the person of their choice. People from throughout the political spectrum can elect someone. I think you all have consciousness. I think you all are very smart people. Everyone in this room, I'm sure, are very smart people, and everyone knows the direction in which we're headed. Again, you're here because we have a democracy. I'm not sure if you're going to be here in a few years, because we might not have a democracy. And I'm just getting a little passionate and emotional thinking this and saying this. It's scary to even say it, to be honest. But regardless of whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, or whatever you might be, for you and for folks in this room, we might not have that. We might not have that. And I'm asking you to please wake up. I'm asking everyone in this room to please wake up. We cannot let these things happen. We need to save our country. We need to save this red, white, and blue that we so love. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome.
This is for the clerk.
My name is Eddie Lane. After visiting California City's ICE Core Civic Detention Center on September 26th, I'm heartsick. Human beings are being mistreated. I call upon this Board of Supervisors to direct the Kern County Department of Health to investigate health and safety conditions in this ICE facility, as is permitted by state law, SB 1132. Test the water, test the air in the two-man cells, review the medical and safety records and or lack of them, interview those detained privately. The County of Kern is responsible for the health and safety of all who reside in Kern County, not some, but all. The County of Kern would not permit Lerdo to deny human beings necessary physician-prescribed medications, permit unacceptably cold cells, permit regular body searches, including the groping of private parts, or permit a recreation yard of gravel having no restroom or available water. Yet the County of Kern is permitting this immoral mistreatment of human beings in California City, many of whom are simply asylum seekers or green card holders who were routinely reporting into ICE till a few months ago. I visited Carlos on September 26th. I visited him since April of 2024. He passed out on September 16th with a blood sugar level of 40, was taken to the hospital. Why? Because his medications had been taken from him, along with his needed back brace. Carlos, I was told to send him, I could send him 2 stamps and 2 envelopes. I did. Those were taken away. My request of you, one of my requests of you is come visit Carlos with me. Come with me. You will never be the same after your visit. You will feel the scars of inhumanity in your heart. I've also visited Tule Lakes, California, and seen the boxcar-like structures used to incarcerate Japanese during World War II. 40 years later, the Reagan administration apologized. My prayer is it will not take 40 years for the United States, and yes, for this Kern County, to apologize for what's going on in Kern City, or in California City right now.
Thank you, Mr. Lane.
Madam Chair, can I jump?
Please, Supervisor Peters, one moment to the next speaker. You can stay there.
Thank you. I don't see our Director of Public Health in here, but maybe I'll refer this to our CAO and staff. I don't know if you have an answer right now, but it's my understanding that we're not just authorized to make an inspection under the new Senate Bill 1132. I believe that the language says we're required to inspect at least annually. Do you know if that's accurate or not?
Supervisor Peters, through the chair, thanks for the question. We were just notified that Public Health has issued a statement related to this issue today, probably from media inquiries, indicating that they are currently preparing to expand their inspection efforts to include additional detention facilities now covered under the law. So they're in the planning stages of that and hope to begin inspections in early 2026.
Okay, thank you. So I think that's some helpful background that might at least move the ball forward a little bit. And another thing I'll say, just may not be something that a lot of people want to hear, but it's the reality of the state of California is a lot of times they push down their responsibilities and the financial obligations down to the county for what should be state functions. Lots of times we see unfunded mandates that get pushed down on the county. And as Mr. Lane said, we do have an obligation to take care of our people, and that gets increasingly harder as the state continues to put demands on our budgets here. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm not saying don't advocate here, but advocate at the state level that they're conducting inspections that you're out here championing. But like I said, by all means, stay engaged, but it does sound like at least we're moving forward, and there are plans in the works to begin those inspections. So thank you.
Supervisor Peters, thank you so much. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
Please state and
afternoon.
spell your name for the record.
Of course, Alejandra Garcia, ALEJANDRA, Garcia, GARCIA. Good afternoon, chairs and board members. As I mentioned, my name is Alejandra Garcia. I'm also with Building Healthy Communities, Kern. I'm not here to talk about morality, but about liability. We have a situation that should concern every person responsible for the fiscal health and legal standing of this county. When your lead health official willfully refuses to conduct oversight that paves the way for a perfect storm for a preventable tragedy such as disease outbreaks or a wrongful death. And when that tragedy occurs, the fact that our county knew about the risk and chose not to act will be indefensible. This is an invitation for a costly and damaging litigation against Kern County. This board has the power to mitigate that risk. We urge you to protect the county and its residents by directing your health officer to do his job. Conduct the inspection, document the condition. Do not wait for this crisis to act. Thank you.
Thank you. Please state and spell your name. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Elizabeth Palencia, Elizabeth, and then Palencia, Palencia. And good afternoon, Chair and members of the board. My name, as I said, Elizabeth Palencia, speaking on behalf of Building Healthy Communities, Kern. I am here today to address a serious concern with the lack of public health oversight in our county. As others have mentioned, there is serious medical neglect and abuse inside for-profit detention centers, including the Mesa Verde and Golden State Annex facilities here in Kern. These are not just anecdotes, these are documented patterns. It is especially concerning learning from federal court proceedings that Kern County's own public health officer, Dr. Christopher Leon, has stated he, quote, has no intention of inspecting, unquote, these facilities unless he is directly ordered to do so by the governor. This is unacceptable. The county's top health official is refusing to exercise his authority to ensure the health and safety of thousands of people within our jurisdiction. This refusal to even look at the problem creates a dangerous gap in accountability and puts lives at risk. The Board of Supervisors has direct oversight over the county's public health department. We are asking you to do your job. We urge you to direct the county's public health officer to conduct immediate and thorough inspections of these facilities. You have the authority, and we ask you to act. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Welcome, good afternoon, and please state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Zachary Blevins, Blevins. A little bit different of a topic.
Okay.
I am starting a business here in Bakersfield. I'm a CSUB student, attached to be local. It is called Vortex Industries Plus. Apparently, according to the Air Force Research Laboratory, I invented an alternator. And Professor Dr. Jeremy Woods from Cal State is saying it's worth like $900 million in like 5 years. I also was a former detainee. I was in prison for a little bit. No excuses, you know, here or there. But I would say on both sides of that, you know, these same people that you say that won't be there for you, I have seen in the middle of the night save me from someone pulling a gun on me, and I thought that person hated me, Cervantes. On the other side of that, I've had them only arrest me when I have jewelry on and take my jewelry and get drugs back from them. So at the same time, that's one miss. I grew up with problems, unfortunately, you know, and I've been so hurt I could stay up 5 days straight sober, no problem. And that kind of thing is not easy to get to go away. At the same time, they are extremely patient, loving people. When they say the word love, in their eyes, you'll see tears. Maybe not all of them, but the ones I've been around. So I have no doubt that even if we're having a misunderstanding, these people would die for us on a bad day. Back on the topic. So I started a business, it's called Vortex Industries Plus. One market is supposed to be about $900 million in 5 years. We've ran it through physics models. I won the Venture Accelerator at CSUB with a single piece of hand-drawn paper. They ran it through physics models and such not. The Air Force Research Laboratory said that it was good and they want to give us a STTR grant. I just wanted to make the board aware because I want to make sure it's a community partnership, you know, and growth. And thank you all for what you do, and thank you for letting me talk.
Thank you.
Yep.
Congrats on your success.
Thank you.
Any other speakers this afternoon? Please state and spell your name for the record. Welcome.
Thank you. Buenas tardes, miembros de la mesa directiva. Voy a decir mi comentario en español porque se me hace más fácil. Mi nombre es Laura González. Yo soy promotora y trabajadora que trabaja diariamente con nuestra comunidad. Hoy represento a Building Healthy Communities.
¿Puede empezar de nuevo para poderle traducir, por favor?
Mi nombre es Laura González.
My name is Laura Gonzalez,
Y soy promotora y una trabajadora de Building Healthy Communities.
and I'm a promoter and a worker with Healthy Communities.
Como promotora, trabajo diariamente directamente con las familias de nuestro condado de Kern.
As a promoter, I work daily with the families in Kern County.
Nuestra comunidad confía en el condado, que en el condado nos protegerá.
The families have trust in the county to protect them.
Confiamos que nuestros doctores y nuestros líderes velarán por la salud de todos.
And we hope that our leaders and our doctors will support for the health of all.
Hoy, esa confianza está rota.
Today, that trust is broken.
Como han dicho mis colegas, nos hemos enterado de que el oficial de salud del condado de Kern se niega a inspeccionar los centros de detención de Mesa Verde y el Golden State.
As we have been informed by my colleagues, we know that the health director,
Deny?
he has denied the opportunity to inspect the facilities.
Él ha dicho que no tiene la intención de ver lo que está sucediendo adentro.
He has said that he has no intention of seeing what's happening in those facilities.
¿Cómo podernos sentirnos seguros?
How can we feel safe?
¿Cómo podemos confiar en nuestro sistema de salud local
How can we trust our health system?
si su propio líder decide ignorar a miles de personas
If the leader of the health system decides to ignore thousands of people
que están sufriendo en nuestro condado?
that are suffering in our county?
Esto envía un mensaje terrible,
This sends the wrong message.
que para el condado hay personas cuya salud simplemente no importa.
That in this county there are people whose health is not important.
Como la voz de la comunidad les ruego
As the voice of the community, I urge you
que restaure nuestra confianza en ustedes.
that restore the trust that we have in you.
Thank you.
Gracias. Elsa, thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Hello, please come down. Welcome. Please state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Reverend Dawn Wilder. I'm the pastor of Emmanuel Lutheran Church on Baker Street. And I've just submitted a letter that is being sent to Governor Newsom, Congress, and, well, submitted to you and several others, containing the words from detainees that have been deported and have shared their stories to the Mexican consulate. This letter is coming from the consulate to you and them. Plus all of the stories that you have heard here today. These aren't fables. These are real human beings that are being denied essential medicine. They're being strip searched multiple times, confined for long hours without cause and treated with disregard that violates both human dignity and decency. Your banner behind you says, "In God we trust." You know, Scripture is clear. Whatever you do to the least of these, you do to me. The people held in ICE detention are not less human, not less loved, not less sacred. How we treat them reveals who we really are. 2026, we may get enough funds. That's the value? Philip Peters?
I'm sorry.
What? How can you put so little value on human life?
Madam Chair, can I respond to that?
Please.
I am not sure what you're referring to about we may get enough funds in 2026.
That's what you said.
That is not what I said. I said the state of California continues to push financial obligations on us, yet we're required under this law to inspect, and I asked for clarification that we would be from the Kern Public Health Department, and our CAO's office confirmed that that was in the initial stages right now.
My time is up.
Well done.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosa Lopez, Lopez, and I'm with District 3. Unfortunately, sad to see that my representative's out here to listen to his constituents, but not to repeat what my colleagues and the former speakers have said. This is not about a budget. This is not about what political party we associate with. This is about humanity. It's about human dignity. We've been here several times on different occasions just uplifting what's going on with immigration detentions and immigration enforcement across the country, and how we here in Kern County have allowed to be the dumping ground of private prisons. We have, I don't know if you know, we have 5 detention centers. 3 are active. One is, we have 4, excuse me. 3 are currently active. 1 is ready to be populated. We have the capacity to hold over 5,000 people just in our county. And we know that when bed capacity increases, enforcement increases. So if we're not going to talk about whether or whatever you claim to say that you have no authority, or this is a federal issue, or this is, what we're here to plead with you is that there are state laws that gives you authority to investigate these concerns and the complaints that we're receiving from multiple detention centers, and more recently the California City one, which is the largest one in the state of California. It's not that the state is not allocating appropriate budgets, but it's because we have not appropriately addressed issues from our community. We invest almost 50% of our budget in criminalizing our community, policing, jailing, and monitoring them through probation. Almost 50% of our budget, of our general budget, goes into criminalizing our community. We cut the Department of Human Services, the Health Department budget this year, eliminating over several dozen positions. Where is our priorities? That just shows us that we are not interested in supporting or investing in community, but in profiting of corporations. Because who are running these detention centers? billion-dollar private corporations who are only here for profit motivations. So please, listen to the stories and the testimonies that are being uplifted today.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public who want to weigh in on this matter? If so, please come down, or any matter that is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors, please come down and give us your thoughts, please.
Is this public presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Miss Lisa, MS.LISA, middle initial K, last name Pollard, P-O-L-L-A-R-D. First time I wrote something down to read. It's just a short little message. Today I have a request to make a contribution to be on the agenda with recommendations. Identify waste reduction with public, with government helps, presentation to whom it may concern. So I look forward to making an appointment with you, Ms. Leticia, District 5, so we can talk about how that all be informed of what I can do to contribute in that way if it's permissible.
Okay. It's not clear whether or not a matter will be placed on the agenda, but certainly there are many ways for you to help in the community, and our office will be delighted to direct you in ways in which you can be helpful.
Thank
So
you.
please-
I appreciate that comment of what you're just saying.
Yes.
So I just look forward to making an appointment that you can share that with me going forward, how I can contribute
Yep, you can
in the
call my
avenues
office.
that I'm able to do.
Please call my office and make an appointment.
Okay.
And our staff will meet with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other members of the public that would like to make comment today? Mr. Professor, you already spoke during public presentations.
I wonder if you would allow me to respond to Supervisor Peter in 1 minute.
It would really be against the rules, Professor, and I will get so much trouble for it. If Supervisor Peters would entertain a conversation with you, he can do that, but I cannot, sir, and I am so sorry.
If you allow me.
By all means, sir.
Supervisor Peters, thank you for your indulgence. Professor, please come forward.
Thank you so much. Supervisor Peter, I understand you're acting in good faith when you say that sometimes there's unfunded mandates coming down from Sacramento that put a tremendous burden on the counties. I understand the point. Yet, there was a law passed in 2018 mandating the Attorney General to carry out those inspections. If this board had taken the stand then, and we're talking 2018, and send a strong statement that we request his intervention and inspection of Mesa Verde, we would have had that happen if you had asked for it, and it would have been funded by the state. You see, it's the lack of action that has put the burden now on you to act, because all these years have gone by. Thank you for allowing me to respond.
Thank you. And if I could just respond briefly,
Please,
but,
Supervisor.
so, again, I just want to be clear. I was asking because I know that we have an obligation to go out there and investigate and make sure we're in compliance. I was just simply making the point that this is a state facility, state inspections, they're the ones that should be doing that work, and they continue to push stuff down onto the counties, so,
Ask them.
Right.
thank you.
If I would like to say Supervisor Peters' comments and referral to the CAO staff is the most action I've seen taken from this body, period. And I was surprised by it, frankly. I think it takes remarkable courage to ask for such a thing under the political conditions that we are all living with, which is quite hellish, as you know. So I want to thank my colleague, Supervisor Peters. We come from very different worlds, very different political realities, but I really admire and respect that you have spoken up and asked for some clarity from this body. I don't think that that was easy, nor do I think is this going to be easy moving forward. I would like to request an opportunity to meet with you all so that we can talk about what we learned back from county per Supervisor Peters' referral. Or request from the CAO. That way we can get on the same page about timeline and get some clarity here. Please know that we are remarkably limited in what we can do under the circumstances. And I think you have some appreciation for that. And I can't tell you how meaningful and impactful it is that you're here, in particular in expression of faith, in expression of love, in expression of dignity for our fellow brother and sister. As was stated earlier, wherever you may be from, wherever you may look like, whatever your condition may be, I think that's absolutely an expression of what those within the Christian faith, I understand that's not everyone, but certainly those that profess a Christian faith believe and assert. And so I want to say, as someone who also does, I appreciate that very much. And I appreciate the respect, the civility, and the love and compassion that drives you to be here today on your own time, on your own dime, and on your own accord. Again, Supervisor Peters, thank you for your leadership. Are there any other comments from my colleagues at this time? It doesn't look like we have additional public comment. Anyone? Okay. Colleagues, I see a very difficult subject matter and a difficult time. But I think we can get some answers here and get the ball rolling. And I look forward to meeting with you all. Thank you, Professor. Good to see you. God bless you all in your remarkably humanitarian and love-oriented efforts. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move forward. I'm going to ask my colleagues if you have any announcements or reports. Gentlemen? Jeff? Couch? No? Okay. Moving on, we're going to head to departmental requests. Under Planning and Natural Resources Department, we have item number 3, which is a response to September 9, 2025 board inquiry regarding community development programs funded by community development block grants. I see Craig Murphy is in place, our director. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I have with me today Teresa Pickens. She is our Administrative and Human Resources Division Chief. The item before you today, as you had mentioned, is a response to a referral your board made to the CAO's office on September 9th, requesting a report on community development block grant program funding that has been implemented over the past 10-year period. In response to the request, staff has enclosed in your board letter a listing of all CDBG funded projects dating back to 2015. We've also included a listing of projects funded by one-time CARES funding, or is otherwise known as the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act that was provided to us in 2019. While there are restrictions as to how CARES money can be spent, your board should be advised that monies allocated through CARES has been administered differently than additional annual CDB program funding that is provided from the federal government. To provide an overall context on today's presentation, I thought it would be appropriate to summarize how federal CDBG funds are received and administered by the Planning and Natural Resources Department. The county traditionally receives annual federal funding to administer the CDBG, home, and our ESG programs. CDBG itself is one of the longest continuous running programs by the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development, and HUD provides pass-through funding to states and local governments that is used for local programs and development projects that assist the low and moderate incomes, prevent or eliminate unsafe housing or blight, or address urgent community development needs that pose immediate risk to health and safety and have no other funding source. So these qualification categories are known as national objectives, and all budgeting is subject to budget appropriations by the federal government. During the past 10 years, the county has received between $4 and $6 million annually to administer these programs. Each year, typically in October, the county receives a federal allocation under the Community Development Block Grant Program, and staff has some idea of that total amount of funds to be received, and that is based on federal estimates that have been provided to the county in April or May of that same calendar year. Once the planning department receives the total allocation that is being provided to the county, we automatically subtract 20% of those funds and any of the required home access or home rehabilitation funding. The subtracted 20% is used to fund our administrative cost, and this 20% typically makes up the budget for the Community Development Division located within the Planning Department. So then, using information derived from HUD, federal census data, and county geographic information systems, funds are then allocated by staff to our cooperative cities and to each supervisorial district. Right now, we have 4 cooperative cities, which include California City, Ridgecrest, Shafter, and Tehachapi. The allocation is based on existing low and moderate population areas within each of the previously identified jurisdictions. Before the total amount of available funds for the upcoming year are confirmed, staff reviews our previous spending and makes whole any allocated or unallocated project funds that may have been used to facilitate previously approved projects. So for example, unallocated funds or borrowed funds from other projects that were not ready to be spent may have been used to facilitate the construction of an approved project that was ready to move forward. Any of those unallocated or borrowed funding amounts need to be reimbursed before new money can be committed for any future projects. So in total, staff has a 6-year window in which to spend CDBG allocations. However, there are separate provisions that make sure money is not built up during that window, but rather is more spent on a regular basis. In terms of operation, staff typically receives the CDBG project applications in November and December. These applications are generally submitted by cooperative cities, nonprofits, or other special districts. In January, staff reviews the submitted applications and makes sure that the proposed projects are eligible activities and that they qualify under the above listed national objectives. We then begin meeting with each supervisor to determine which potential projects should be funded. In the spring, staff brings to your board an annual action plan, which is a summary of all the proposed projects to be funded based on the upcoming anticipated federal allocation. Typically, in October, the new federal budget cycle is approved, which allows staff to begin implementation of the proposed CDBG-funded projects identified in the approved annual action plan. And again, this is assuming that federal funding has been allocated to the CDBG programs for that year. Currently, staff is right now preparing to open up CDBG application window for projects that could be funded in next year's federal fiscal 2026-2027 federal budget. With that being said, there is always a possibility that the federal government will cut or greatly reduce CDBG funding, which would mean there would be no federal dollars available for identified projects. Additionally, the funding of projects is based on local governments being reimbursed for work that we have performed, and while it's not anticipated that any previously funded projects will be cut, we cannot be sure what the fiscal year 2026-2027 federal budget will be. So staff will continue to coordinate with the CAO's office regarding federal appropriations, and we will come back to your board for future discretion or direction if there is any possibility that any of our already approved projects has a potential to lose any of their federal funding. That completes staff's presentation and overview of the CDBG program in general. I'm happy to answer any questions that your board may have regarding implementation of the program.
Thank you. Excellent presentation. Are there members of the public who would like to weigh in on the report as just provided? Okay, seeing no members of the public, we'll close the public portion and return to the board for comment, question, or action. Supervisor Peters.
Thank you. So just to clarify, with the CDBG projects, is that only on a schedule throughout the year that projects can qualify, or is there an ability, if there's some kind of extraordinary circumstance, that funding could be shifted or allocated to address a more immediate need in a community?
Supervisor Peters, to answer your question, there is always an opportunity to amend the annual action plan. So if for some reason there was a project that no longer needed funding, or we didn't want to have on the list anymore, or there was a different need and we needed to kind of move where those projects were, as long as it still meets the eligibility criteria and it meets those national objectives, we could go through a process to reallocate some of that funding to kind of account for other projects. So we typically, just to kind of go through budget decision-making, kind of get our list of projects that we know are potential to be funded. We kind of get an assumption in terms of how much money we're going to have available, and then we create a master list. But again, just like with anything, there is some opportunities to amend that throughout the calendar year.
Okay, I appreciate it. And then my only other question right now, I know you don't have a crystal ball by any means, but are there any indications right now of whether or not we'll see a reallocation of funding in the next federal budget?
Supervisor Peters, through the chair, I think that's probably better answered by the CAO's office, but I believe that there is a concern that we may not. But again, I believe that the CAO's office might be able to have a better handle in terms of their communications and what they think may happen next year.
Understood. I appreciate it.
Supervisor Peters, through the chair, this is one of the items that we've mentioned throughout our budget discussions. Is we're not. We hear there's going to be some reductions in the CDBG. We're not for certain. There could be another mechanism, block grants or something like that, as an alternative that they put out. But it is something we're monitoring and anticipating there could be an impact.
Okay, I appreciate it. That's it for me.
Thank you so much for the question, Supervisor Peters, and the presentation. I've wondered about it myself. My understanding is that the CDBG money is going away and that we will not be getting it back. But again, we'll, I guess, remain to get an update, or it remains to be seen what exactly is going to happen. So thank you for the inquiry and for the clarity. Supervisor Couch.
A couple of things, a couple of questions. I see a lot of, I think what you're trying to say here is under your attachments, where it says location, and you've got some numbers, or you say cooperative city or countywide, the numbers are districts?
That is correct, Supervisor.
Well, there's a bunch in there that say 4 that are not. For example, Rexland, all the Rexland Acres projects, most of the Taft projects after the redistricting, or all the Taft projects after redistricting. So I'm just bringing that to your attention. I don't need you to amend anything before us to receive and file it and all that. I noticed a lot of projects on there that were not in District 4.
I appreciate the feedback. We will absolutely look at it to make sure that it matches or that we're aware of new district boundaries. Some of those may have been reflective in previous boundaries of the supervisor districts when they were originally
Usually have
created.
6 years to
Yeah.
spend, okay. And lastly, is the California Infrastructure Loan Program or payment, I think it was called a Section 108 loan. Did we do those? For example, long ago, predates all of us here, there was a pool built in Lamont, right?
iBank loan.
iBank. And we're paying that back each year with CDBG funds. So what happens to that?
It was
How are we
infrastructure.
going to pay the loan back?
It was infrastructure, not pool, Couch. But I get your point. It was roads, curb and gutter.
Supervisor Couch, through the chair, Elsa Martinez with the CAO's office. I think you're referring to the District 5 project. We did some gutter. We actually obtained a loan through iBank, which is a reduced interest loan for community improvements. And so what has been happening over multiple years is the allocation of CDBG has been used to pay the loan. We're almost at the end of the loan, so even if the program ends, we're pretty close. If cut funding gets reduced and there's no additional funding, that becomes a general fund responsibility.
So we're just fortunate that
We're at the end.
we're at
yes.
the end of the loan. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the clarification, Supervisor Couch. You done there? Okay, Supervisor Parlier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So all of us up here have communities within our district that are disadvantaged. And when you talk about CDBG, you're really talking about the last arrow in our quiver to be able to help some of these communities. Elsa just brought up, or CAO's office just brought up regarding those things would fall to our general fund, and our general fund, depending on how it is in the future, may or may not be able to support those things that those communities have had in the past or deserve. So what I'm going to ask is that we do a board letter to our local federal representatives and ask that they support future CDBG.
I think that's an excellent recommendation. If that's a motion, I will second
It
that
is
motion.
a motion.
Excellent. Excellent. Supervisor Peters, how do you feel about that?
Great idea. I appreciate it, Supervisor.
Fabulous idea. So we have a motion and a second. Thank you for that. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Parley. Thank you, Supervisor Peters, for bringing this issue forward, so effectively. Thank you, Director, and your team. Okay, we're going to move along to our next agenda item. We have two remaining for the afternoon. One was pulled from consent, and the other was duly noted under CAO. Number 20, Jason Wiebe, I understand, is present to educate this board and the public about a proposed sole source agreement with Unwired Broadband to install equipment and infrastructure, providing high-speed, low-cost internet service options in Lost Hills, effective October 7, 2025. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you for the introduction, Madam Chair. But for the record, I will state my name, Jason Wiebe, W-I-E-B-E, with the County Administrative Office. Our office today is seeking your approval of a sole source agreement with Unwired Broadband to install equipment and infrastructure that will provide high-speed, low-cost internet access and options to Lost Hills, and approve an MOU with Educational Leasing, which is an affiliate of the Wonderful Company, that confirms their support and use of their communications tower by Unwired to deliver this service. So it's been a 2-year journey. As Supervisor Couch is well aware, we've been trying to find a solution for broadband, high-speed internet for Lost Hills. We've applied for grants through the state, tried partnering with other internet service providers, and after not being awarded a grant about a year ago through the state and not being given any feedback on why we weren't awarded that grant, two things happened this last May that allowed this to happen. First, the Wonderful Company entered into a site licensing agreement that allows Unwired to modify and use their tower on their property. Hardwired fiber is not an option. That infrastructure does not exist for Lost Hills. And this wireless option is a high-quality, valuable solution for rural communities such as Lost Hills. The second thing that happened, Supervisor Couch dedicated funding designated from the Lost Hills Economic Opportunity Area to fund this project. And because of funding for that project, this is what Unwired will be able to provide to the community of Lost Hills. Discounted rates and speed options for subscribers, including a guaranteed rate not to exceed $30 a month for speeds of 100 download, 20 upload for a minimum of 3 years. This will put Lost Hills in the served category according to the Federal Communications Commission criteria, which means locations in this community now have affordable access to what is considered high-speed internet. They'll also be providing free high-speed internet service to the Kern County Fire Station 26 in Lost Hills, the Kern County Recreation Building, and Hall Ambulance Lost Hills Station. And upon permit removal, they will establish a network that can be built and activated within 4 months, so this is going to happen pretty quickly. Unwired also participates in the Affordable Connectivity Program, which if it's ever reinstated, will offer even greater discounts to customers in the Lost Hills community. So before I summarize with recommended action for your board, we do have representatives here from the wonderful company and Unwired. With the chair's indulgence, I'll allow, if you'll allow them to come up and say a few words before I sum up with the board's recommendation.
How wonderful.
Okay.
Yes. Is that Melissa? Oh, my goodness.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you all. Melissa Frank with the wonderful company FRA&K. I just wanted to thank specifically the CAO's office and Jason. We've been working hard to get reliable, affordable internet in the community of Lost Hills for close to 5 years. It was incredibly disappointing when the county's grant application wasn't accepted. Lost Hills is a perfect example. And look, I understand there are other communities in the valley and other communities in Kern County that also need affordable, reliable internet access. But Lost Hills is a perfect example of one of those communities. And so we're just really, really excited to be at this point. Thank you, Supervisor Couch. You've been working on this with us for a very long time, and your support has been invaluable. So thank you all, and thank you to the county and the Unwired team for making this happen for the Lost Hills community.
Well stated. Thank you, Melissa. This is fantastic news. So much good being done and has been in Lost Hills by Wonderful. What an exciting advancement in that process and evolution. So thank you. Hello.
Thank you all for having us today. My name is Troy Klinger. I'm the Director of Network Operations for Unwired Broadband. And I'm proud to be here today representing Unwired as we join forces with Kern County and the wonderful company to bring broadband to a community that has long been overlooked by the large service providers. For 2 decades, Unwired Broadband has been dedicated to delivering reliable internet access to rural underserved communities like Lost Hills. We're honored to be part of this important initiative and excited about the educational and economic opportunities it will unlock for the residents of Lost Hills. I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to the board, and very specifically Supervisor Couch, Jason Wiebe, as well as the outstanding team over at the wonderful company, including Lenore Vasquez and Melissa Frank. I'd also like to acknowledge Ravi Paul Singh from Unwired Broadband. This project is a result of the hard work, dedication, and collaboration of these individuals. And thank you very much.
And thank you for the civilization. The civilizational upgrade. Thank you. Really, really appreciate it. It's big. It's so big. Thank you. Jason?
So it is recommended, the staff recommendation to your board is approve the proposed sole source agreement with Unwired Broadband to install equipment and infrastructure needed to provide the unincorporated area of Lost Hills with high-speed, low-cost internet service options effective October 7th, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $599,282.68. Approve the MOU with Educational Leasing, LLC. Authorize the chair to sign the proposed agreement and the MOU. Approve the release of designation in the general fund, Lost Hills designation in the amount of $599,283, and appropriate in 1007 CC special services for broadband access and services to Lost Hills, and authorize the auditor controller to process the specified budgetary adjustments and accounting transactions. That is all I have to say on this matter, but I'm
That's a mouthful. Okay.
happy we got it to the finish line, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you for the proposed motion. Are there any other members of the public who would like to weigh in on this matter? Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing portion, and with that proposed motion, I'll ask my colleagues, Supervisor Parlier first, for your comments.
Thanks, Jason. You proved you have the magic. Now I want to see maybe duplicate it for Caliente and maybe Havla for Philip Peters and I. Thank you so much.
Well said. A small request, Jason, of course. Supervisor Couch.
It only takes about 5 years. So thank you to Melissa and to Wonderful. And Jason, really, you're the kind of the star of the show. I know Unwired has to do all the work, but you hung in there like grim death on this project, and I appreciate it, and the people of Lost Hills will appreciate it as well. So I will make a motion on your recommendation. Thank you.
We have a motion on the recommendation as listed by Mr. Wiebe.
Second.
And a second. I want to give an additional thank you to the leadership of Wonderful, to the vision of Wonderful, Stu and Linda Resnick in particular, but to Melissa, who is the hands of this company, the brains and the magic. Really, thank you for what you continue to do to inspire and uplift in the spirit of a rising tide lifts all boats. Thank you to our Wired friends for your genius and masterful planning abilities. This is very special and a really important moment for all of us, so thank you. Please cast your votes, gentlemen.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, thank you very much. Our final matter this afternoon was a matter we pulled from consent, and that is item number 28 is a request for cancellation of RenewBiz general fund designation in the amount of $500,000 and appropriation for mid-year major maintenance project for Boron Park improvements in the amounts not to exceed $500,000. Thank you for pulling this matter and providing clarification for us. What are your thoughts?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Yes, this item was pulled off consent just to provide further clarification. So, District 2 Supervisor Parlier had requested an additional investment of $500,000 for improvement on East Kern. Due to a small oversight, and because of our accounting system, we cannot do a general project, so I put the entire amount under Boron Park. However, his desire is to use the funds across East Kern. So this item will be approved as stated, but I will be returning to your board to move funds from that project to other projects once the bids come in for the improvements at Boron. So you'll see those items coming to your board as budget amendments. So this is just a clarification that the funds will be used across East Kern.
Understood. Supervisor Parlier, your thoughts?
Thank you, Elsa. Motion to move staff recommendation.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment on this matter? Okay, seeing no interest in the public in doing so, I'll return to my colleagues for a second on Supervisor Parlier's motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Supervisor Parlier. We have a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. That brings us to the end of our afternoon agenda. We will be returning October 21 for our next regular meeting. And at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn from my colleague. From Supervisor Flores, motion to adjourn is granted.